timing opening this up as well. That's going to be a catch on to the Flux and possibly fight over already.
Yep, and here we go. Let's just throw everything in the kitchen sink at him. Looking for that team kill. The Valiant need to stay glued to this. Alonron, he builds up, gets the self-destruct. There's going to be 2 self-destructs simultaneously. Legion gone, eliminated. Now Fate's going to be gone. Lip manages to find one. Shocheng going to be eliminated again, but just for a moment, and they've actually done it. They have made it happen. Time to the immortality field. Alonron, now the BB Diva going to be dead. Silver 3 gone. The DPS cut in half. The res does come through from Hy-Vee, trying to put it back into the fight. The duplicate is available, but doesn't have that many great targets to really pick from. Nancy on to 3. It's going to be Molly taken down. Now Lee Jae gone dead out of the fight. Great punch timing there from Alonron to finish off Void as he hits the ground. They will lose 3 members in exchange, but this is going to be the Valiant maintaining control. Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Achilles and Avril jumping on the broadcast to guide you through the rest of the evening, and it's been a pretty long one. It seems like Doe and ZP, I think they've earned their sleep. 2 back-to-back 5-map series, and you know, I'm ready for a third. Let's do it. Shanghai Dragons versus the LA Valiant. Let's go to the distance. 5 maps. I mean, in all seriousness, no. Like, imagine if it happened. How crazy that would be. Seems like Avril might be muted in OBS, but that's fine. We're gonna take care of it, and then he's gonna have plenty of egg on his face and feel like a fool once we get it taken care of. He says that he's not muted in OBS, so that's intriguing. Okay, well, production can't hear Avril. I'm hoping that you guys can. I guess I'll have to check and see if maybe that's going to be the case, but otherwise you could do, like, miming. I mean, I can hear you, and I can be your interpreter. All right, well, I don't know. So Avril's going to be taking care of his stuff, but it's okay. I'll be here to guide you through. Right now, the players are getting set up in the lobby. Then they'll be getting ready to go in for their glorious walkouts for the first time in front of their home crowd. But, yeah, everything I'm seeing seems like maybe they could hear you. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of like glancing at the chat to try to see if I can hear you. Maybe Jabari still can't, or you know, our production staff and them can't hear you. But hopefully the audience can hear you.
A reminder: I'm not actually serious about this, but I'm good. So I have a real, like, tinfoil. Put your tinfoil hats on, chat. I got a real little theory here going on, where in order for Shanghai to break the 4-0 curse and make sure they get a 3-1, I think this is the game you got to drop. And the reason for that is because this is the one you can afford to drop. Giving Valiant a match here, they don't really benefit from that. Whereas Shanghai, they're like guaranteed first no matter what. They're in it. They're good to go. So, you know, if you want a tinfoil hat, like, real hardcore, like, oh, we're going to break the 4-0 curse, we're going to make sure we're 3-1. Yeah, this is probably the one. It's not going to happen. This is going to be a quick 3-0 from Shanghai. But I enjoy thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all that I have to cling on to.
If it happens, I'm all about it. I think it'll be absolutely insane if it does happen. But one of the big reasons why we don't think it's going to happen is the DPS lineup here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons, in particular Lip. This guy has been looking like one of the best in the world. I mean, when it comes down to Sombra, by far the best in the world. So, yeah.
Backed up by stats.
Nutty. Just, I mean, yeah. You can say, oh, but he's only 4th in fewest deaths, so how can he be the best? Well, look at everything else.
Yeah, because he's charging in and actually doing the damage. The other stuff that's actually really important right now. The reason he's only second on enemy's EMP is because sometimes he drops a 0 bomb in there, but that's fine. The real important thing to note is the damage done and the time to charge ultimates, which is the most important thing. He, by this statistic alone, has the fastest EMP charge in the entire league, and you get there by doing the most damage, and he's got the #1 of the damage there as well. In my mind, there is no question right now that Leave is for sure in the running for season MVP right now, next to someone like Fearless. These are the 2 players at the top of everyone's mind for MVP awards because they've been the best 2 teams. Dallas and Shanghai have won everything so far this year. They've been the most dominant 2 teams, and the standout players on both teams have been Fearless and Lip. So, yeah, these are the front runners for an MVP for the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been an absolute monster. I mean, we saw in that last series, you know, several people, you know, trying to play the Sombra. Jimmy was doing a pretty good job of it. Fusion a little bit confused as to when they needed to be running that, I suppose, because when there's a Pharah in the sky, oftentimes you want somebody who can kind of shoot somebody in the face, shoot that Pharah out of the sky. But they decided to go for the May Sombra duo instead. Didn't really get any hacks onto him, etc. Somebody tells me that if you put Lips Sombra up against Jinwoo's Pharah, he'll probably find some kind of crazy way to make it work. But even then, a little bit more faith in Shanghai to maybe restructure the lineup.
He'll at least shoot Jinwoo. Spoiler, you need to shoot Jinwoo to shut him down, and that just didn't happen from Fusion. So sad, unfortunate. Turns out McCree is pretty good there, and they just failed to play that McCree character. But dude, I'm quite jealous about Chengdu again. That would look like a beautiful game, but you know what? They missed out. They missed out on the true highlight of the day here because we got the banger. We got the real deal here. So if you think this one's going to be the real deal, make sure you drop a sheesh or a let's go because that's what I'm thinking right now.
I mean, I think it's okay. I think we could concede this to them. They could just come back in and do the final series, right? It's only 6:30, almost 7 a.m. for them over there. I'm sure they'll be perfectly willing to come back in and cast one more game on short notice after they've already changed their clothes and wiped their makeup off. So I'll just get them on the phone real quick, and then you and I will slide out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. But no, we're waiting for the players to get ready so that we can dive into this action. And, even though my mind's telling me one thing, my heart is telling me that I want this series to somehow be close.
So you gotta say your body's telling you something.
Like I know that like Games Done Quick is also on right now, but I don't want this necessarily to be a speed run. But here we go. We got the crowd shots. Everybody is riled up. I mean, it's getting to be fairly late night here in South Korea for myself. Yeah. I know it's late for you over in Australia, but it's the same for this audience. But they are sticking through because they're saying, you know what? It is time. We get to see our home squad up on stage. And this one, it's like, no matter, if you're a fan of the Valiant or the Shanghai Dragons in that audience, like I think at the end of the day, the audience is just going to be having a good time because you got two Chinese organizations now, or a Chinese roster and then, a Chinese organization getting ready to go up against each other. So this is just exciting to see.
By the way, both Hangzhou and Shanghai get to play Valiant in their homestand. Like, that's what you start out on, just a little bit of a light entree as we get the Valiant on stage now. And, to be honest with you, especially when Valiant were playing some of the other teams, they did get a lot of crowd cheers coming through from the Chinese crowds. So, repping the blue over here, it'll be some blue versus red. And I'd just be interested to see, what kind of improvements, if there were any, from the last time we saw Valiant. We've actually done a lot of Valiant by now. I think we've cast at least 4 Valiant matches in history. So, we'll see.
Something like that. It's been a good handful is basically the best way to put it. But there are the Valiant players taking to their seats, getting ready, getting geared up. I mean, they know better than just about anybody that this is going to be a bit of a tough one. But it seems like they're still going to be in high spirits. They still do have a crowd that is at least to a certain degree backing them. So I think that it looks like overall they're feeling good about this. We just have to see, how it's going to come down to the performances. They just keep taking some peeks up over the top there of the booth and looking at the crowd. Can't blame them. When you sit in front of a crowd that big, you gotta soak it in a little bit.
Damn, dude, Crystal dropped down to 40 out of 40. Alarm runs ahead, though. You got that. Interestingly enough, apparently, according to IBM, there are 3 tanks behind Silver 3. One of them is his teammate Shou Cheng. Oh, this is what we've been waiting for. Shanghai Dragons. Homestand, baby. The home team coming out. Best team in APAC right now. Best team in the world, I've got to say, as well, and defending champions of June Joust.
Absolutely. Let's just go ahead and let this video roll out. We'll be back and see you guys on the other side. Alrighty. And there we go. Now that we've got the hype intro video out of the way, it's time for the players to walk out to the stage. You can see everybody up on their feet, standing to the side, of flags waving as well, as they are eagerly awaiting to see their squad take the stage for the very first time. Izayaki going to be leading the charge.
Yeah, man. Oh, this is so awesome. I mean, the graphics are insane. Color schemes on point today as well. The venue is filled out. This is what the Shanghai fans were waiting for. Just so you know, this is only Friday for everyone pretty much in the Eastern region right now. So this is not even the weekend. Molly, who I'm sure is going to get a bit of playtime this weekend as well. Someone we didn't get a chance to see much of, but this is the opportunity for the Shanghai fans and for Shanghai themselves to get a little bit of taste of Molly.
And there he comes after Molly is going to be the big man himself. We were already talking him up. It's Lip heading down the alley, giving the high fives out to the fans and taking to the stage. And I mean, he might be green, but I think he's been very well adopted by the Chinese fans. They know that this guy is just an absolute ticket.
It's massive.
To the end of season playoffs and whatnot. And then I mean, who better to follow in behind him than Fleta?
He's a giant as well, and Fleta's pretty tall, but Lip was like full spot above everyone huge in the fan base. I don't know if you saw that. Fleta is someone who popped off so hard last week. I mean, his Tracer made a big comeback. I think there were some doubts about Fleta's Tracer ability after a while where he hadn't been playing it, but then he came back. And this guy on screen right now, I think, to me, was a real, most valuable player in terms of what really got Shanghai going last week in their wins versus Seoul and Philadelphia. If it wasn't for Fate's Ball setting everything up, that would have been a different series.
It very well could have been. They always have Lee Jig on as well, backing him up. Now we get to take a look at Void. I mean, somebody who's just been a staple on this roster for so very long. I mean, as a tank player, has often been in talks for, should this guy be a part of the MVP list because of how well he plays. A lot of people, I would say back going from when Fury was still on the Spitfire, everyone would have said, Fury is still probably the best Eve in the world. For me, at that time even, I would have went with Void. The guy has just always been incredible. He's an amazing Sigma player as well. He can do it all. He can always back up Fate in that role. But there you have it. All the Dragons up on stage. The fans absolutely enthused to finally have this moment. I know there's a lot of other cities that have been waiting. I didn't quite see who he was guiding. I think it might have been Lee J. Khan, but Fleta just kind of taking him, saying, okay, it's time to sit down. Let's move.
Lee J. Khan trying to go off the map there. It's all right. He'll be sending some other people off the map in short order. Notable thing that we saw in the opening lineup there as well is that Molly will be starting out today versus, the squad of Valiant. So if there was a chance to give Molly some game time, like Easyaki's been fantastic throughout the season, I'm sure, for the proper knockout games, for the difficult games, for the ones that Shanghai really need to put the 100% towards, that's when Easyaki comes back in. But this will be their chance to kind of flex the roster a little bit. Fun fact as well, we did see Who Are You play versus Valiant. It was versus another team on Who Are You debuted when they had another kind of, I'll say, easy game. I'm pretty sure it was versus the Valiant, so this is the second time, if I'm correct, that Shanghai played Valiant in recent history.
Yeah, I believe you are correct. But, if not, then I'm sure somebody will tweet at us and tell us that we're wrong. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it is. So, they got a 3-0 versus Valiant. Molly played. That's when Valiant drew versus Shanghai on Volsky, by the way. So that happened. Remember, that was a thing that happened. But Who Are You did debut that game. I don't know if he's here right now. He didn't walk on stage. The rest of the team is ready to go. And an opportunity, a rare opportunity for Molly to finally get some game time as well.
Yeah, I think maybe with the late pickup when he had played that series, it might have been online, so he might not be located in China with the rest of the team. I obviously don't have hard confirmations on that, but that would be my assumption. So that's why he unfortunately wouldn't be able to walk out with the rest of the squad. So if that's the case, then it makes sense. But I mean, Shanghai Dragons, I really wish we had some of the crowd sound pumped into my ears, because it would be wonderful to hear just how loud they are during those intros, how they're going to be during this series. So I'm definitely going to have to go back and be watching the VOD and put myself kind of in the shoes of the viewer and just kind of relive this moment. But I mean, it's a sea of red, and it's not just the lighting. Everybody basically rocking either the Thunder 6 or the jersey. So many signs out there as well as banners.
Yep.
Somebody had that one upside down. Looks like they were correcting it as we panned away with the camera. But yeah, got the Haiting as well there written in Hangul to rep these players and their Korean backgrounds. But Valiant versus Shanghai finally ready to kick things off. And goddamn, can I just say, what an incredible looking stage. Shanghai, you knocked it out of the park. It looks phenomenal in that venue. I wish I was there with you guys, but at least I could be there in spirit and be commentating the series.
Yeah, Shanghai have had a phenomenal stage so far. Now they have a phenomenal physical stage, which the players are currently on. fans out at full force. Really have to applaud the Chinese fans, the Shanghai fans in particular, for packing out the entire stadium. I mean, like, it looked like every single seat was filled up there, and I'm sure as the weekend progresses, that will just continue. But here we go. First map will be Nepal. Lip out on the Sombra. I'll be paying attention to his stats. I'm sure he's going to absolutely blow the Valiant away.
Yeah, I mean, especially Milan on here, he's going to have to be careful. Silver 3. I mean, there's so many big targets realistically here for Lip and go for kind of anybody, but Bait is just going to get bodied off the bat. Crystal finding the kill, but you can see so many people participating in taking him out. I believe it was accretion into a Discord orb, and then they were just able to shred him from there.
I mean, stop the count. Just give Valiant the win now. I mean, that's, you know, would you stop it right there? It looks pretty good. Do lose a player to Lip pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's at 35% right now for the EMP. Rez does come through from Hy-Vee to put him back into the fight, but now Void is going to be demagged. Lip waiting for another target, fighting Silver 3, and as he arrives, he gets hacked, and Fate helps finish him off. Fate now going to go crashing into the back line, gets a pile driver in on the multiple members, pops his shield to stay safe. Fleta gets in on top of Guiga, delivering yet another death over to the enemy Zenyatta. Coaching going off the side of the map, Shanghai now in control of the point. They'll win out the rest of the fight, and they're ticking up above 10%.
And would you look at that, Lips above 80% after one fight. Yeah, I love to see that. I mean, you see a lot of other Sombra players. I was watching the Fusion Chengdu game, and the other one before that as well. It's just like, none of these Sombras, other Sombras are getting like 40, 50% after one fight. Lip after one fight, before Valiant even come back here, they're going to have this EMP ready. And you're about to tell me, oh, but that's versus the Valiant. No, Lip does this versus everything.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think everybody's very well aware of that at this point, so it's definitely not just a one and done here. Lip now pushing forward. He's going to go for the EMP. Manages the Chengdu. Immediately disappears. Fleta is good for the follow-up. Pulse Bomb goes in. Doesn't manage to find a kill. Takes everybody rather low, though. Rez used. We get back into the fight. He doesn't nearly have that coalescence up, but now Lee Jae gone with the whip shot will take down Silver 3. Bob's going to be going out over towards the point. Maybe gets stopped short potentially here. Fleta just dips and dashes around the pillars, helps take out Milanron. Bob did make it to the point, so it is tested, but unfortunately it's not getting them any closer to a flip right now. The rest of the Shanghai Dragons pursuing forward, looking for some further kills. Molly will be a casualty. Will be a bit of a delay on him to try to force his way back over onto the point and start building up for another coalescence, or transcendence rather, I should say. We'll see if the rest of the Dragons can hold out for now as Lee Jae-gon is going to be the sole healer. Does have the rally up, the Fate falls first.
Lee Jae-gon rather has popped this now as we go for this. A lot of kills from Milan, right? Maybe this fight's actually really doing the Valiant. They could definitely take a point here. They can definitely get this cap flipped over. They navigate Lip's EMP properly, and that EMP is just going to rake across.
Yeah, it's massive. Manages to find 4. They're still looking for a little bit of follow-up damage. Crystal being pressured by Lip, so it didn't follow up onto anybody who actually was EMP'd, but still managed to find that kill. So Chunk and Silver 3 now both eliminated, and it might all come down to Milanron again. He had a decent little look there just before this turnaround fight. Pulse Bomb, however, from him, doesn't manage to find anything. Then he gets hacked by Lip, who finishes him off with a nice little smack on the back of the head. Bob is off the point, I believe, so it's not contesting, so the rest of the players have to try to play forward here. The flip does actually manage to come through, but how long can they hold it for becomes the question. Crystal out of the fight, Fleta going to be gone, so trade out on the DPS. Fate receives a Discord Orb, and the rest of the Hunters, or the rest of the Valiant, rather, continue to play forward. Looking at a Wrecking Ball, automatically assume Hunters in my brain. Now it's going to be the minefield out onto the point. Lip just clearing as best as he can. Gets the kill on the Silver 3, but it's, you know, the flip has gone back in for the Dragons. Trying to hold on to this, trying to close it out. Struck up, showed Chung. Does he find anything? He does not. Remech will come in, and in all the chaos, it's really hard to follow. Not too sure what the hell is going on, but Hy-Vee is dead.
There could be a counter flip here as well, because now both Hy-Vee and Wuya have gone down. Wuya's respawning, obviously, but this is just Valiant collecting as many percentage points as they can, and it's actually somewhat closer than you'd expect, because at least stat-wise, the damage being done by Valiant is not that far behind. It will, of course, be the Shanghai Dragons capping that 100%, can come in. Valiant will claim their 22, but to really send my point home, it's at one point both teams, so roughly on 17,000 total damage done across the whole team. Now that we get to the end of the first sub-map, it's Shanghai on 19.5k, and LA Valiant on 18k. So there's only about a 1.5 thousand damage difference between the two teams done, which, when you consider it's 122, you'd imagine it should be way bigger than that in terms of the gap.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But all the same, the Shanghai Dragons do manage to take that first round, but decently well fought overall from the side of the Valiant, putting up maybe more of a fight than a lot of people would have anticipated. Milanron with some decent moments there, as well as Crystal with his Ashe. Let's see how they fare now as we move indoors into Sanctum. Will just be the TPs forward.
I think Jagon hasn't died yet. He's the only player that hasn't actually died across both teams, so we'll watch out for that one.
It's a very good look for the Shanghai Dragons.
It is. Lip also was on 0 death, but he did go down in one of the last fights, so we'll be coming out into a McCree. This is a double shield composition with the Anna McCree, of which let's go on a bit of a flank here. It's not quite close enough to a flash combo.
Yeah, can't quite get on top of them. And in the meantime, while they might find Shochang, it's going to be Molly and Fleta both getting eliminated. So good counteraction here from the Valiant. Push back. That's the DPS now gone with Lip falling Uiha. And that should be the Valiant being able to establish priority on the point first and foremost. You can see the rest of the Shanghai Dragons kind of pushing up the left side, trying to grab some priority here, but Void is just completely collapsed upon. He's trying to survive behind this brick barrier, but it's just not going to happen. The Jagon falling low is discorded, trying to exit, but Crystal will finally deliver him unto death.
Yeah, that'll be Lee Jagon's first death. Crystal really popped off that fight as well. He's currently on 16,000 per 10 in terms of damage, way above every single other DPS. And well, obviously the Shanghai Dragons losing that one. You get Lip going on a long flank. He gets cleaned up by Milan run, so nothing to write home about. And part of me did question, okay, they're playing double shield into a ball comp. Why doesn't Shanghai just kind of mirror this one? They know they have the better ball dive anyway. And there it is, Flitter's on Trace. In fact, the entire team has swapped. They've deleted all their ultimates, but this is definitely the better complement to play right now.
Yeah, I mean, still plenty of time to play with here. If this was around 70%, you'd be a bit more concerned. Pulse Bomb, however, is going to be good. Milanon gets on top of Molly, finds that elimination, a crucial opening now. It'll be further delaying things, but it will be an exchange on the Zenyatta. So Uhiya eliminated. Now Hybe going to be joining him as Fleta manages to find both of the supports. Dashes back over to the flank. Spots at the Bobs, but doesn't really want to press forward here. Is getting covered slightly. Gets a bit of damage in on Milanron, duking it out. Goes for the recall. Still, however, going to be quite low. Has to dash away. Keeps himself alive, but is in some need of some healing. And she will receive from this Orb of Harmony as Lip finds Shochang off screen and the flip comes in.
And again, just comes up first life, 62% straight away. And my expectation's always like, yeah, Lip will be on 70. He's nearly there. To make the slow climb over. There might have been a solo kill delivered onto Shochang as well. Anyway, you did see Flitter take down pretty much both supports solo. He got Wuya solo, then I think Hybe with a bit of support from Lip, or maybe it was the other way around. But the point is, both supports got deleted by Flitter very quickly.
Really clean pickups from him. Good amount of damage being pushed here onto Fade. He's got to really respect the Discord orbs. Zuya has been very much on point with getting those on the priority targets. Shochang, however, being collapsed upon. Speaking of Discord orbs, now is going to be hacked out. Manages to actually survive and has the Flux online. A lot of finds Milan run, but Molly is going to be eliminated, which means that there's going to be a Transcendence in the fight for Uiga, but not for the side of the Dragons. Lip uses the EMP with the Transcendence healing, will keep everybody topped up. Pulse Bomb down to the ground, not going to manage to find anything. They push in, they do manage to punish him as the Trance expires. Void uses the self-destruct off the point. Doesn't manage to find anything, but gets back in safely. They look to continue to hold this point, but Void rejoining in. It's going to be flashbang as he drops out of the mech. His headshot, Peyton is now gone, and the front line of the Shanghai Dragons has been broken down. Deadeye rolling through, looks for a kill on Amali, can't quite find it. He hides behind the staircase to keep himself safe, and now the Trance is going to be coming in. Lip with a sliver of HP, takes down Milanron in a 1v1, now gets topped back up, but the flip is crucially there for the side of the Valiant. Hybe has the rally rolling to push forward. Molly's going to be eliminated by the Decretion. Silver 3 now going to be gone, and Lee Jae-gon, he is eliminated yet again. The rally is going to be canceled, as you say. Pile driver finding Crystal, and we are just devolving into absolute chaos right now as the fight is all over the place except for on the point. A lot of pushing in, getting greedy, trying to finish off Shochang. Will get punished. It seems like this could be the Valiant, closing out the round.
Yeah, I mean, Lip's going to try and come back. He'll surely be able to touch this one. Fate's not even alive. You have both Shanghai supports using their ultimates very late. They're confident. Molly's deleted again.
Yep, that's going to be the EMP, catches the Silver 3 and Milanron, so he can't recall out, but he's not under any threat at the moment. Crystal, in the meantime, is just sitting in the back, taking pod shots, looking for some kills.
No shot.
There onto Lip, and it seems like they might actually be able to close out this round. Void demeched as he re-arrives. He's finished off. The flashbang going to go wide, but it might not matter. See the recall. Gets him back over onto the point, comes back off, but can't get back in to extend this OT even further. And we have a third and final round on our hands, Avril.
Wow. So again, just because I started this discussion thread already, I'm going to continue it. At the end, of Shrine, I said, okay, well, Shanghai are only about a 1.5k damage ahead of Valiant. The difference was, despite Valiant having a lot of damage done, they couldn't get the kills. It's the final blows that was a real difference here. And now when we update the stats a little bit, Shanghai Dragons are actually behind the LA Valiant by a good 4.7k damage. So the Valiant have closed the 1.5k damage gap and then also progressed by another 4.6. So this is what I'm talking about. The Valiant have been hitting shots like Crystal. That was a huge sub-map for Crystal, who hit so many good shots on the Ashe, on the McCree, heaps of final blows. Like, he really started to catch up here. And so the biggest problem for Valiant was they couldn't focus and secure these kills because maybe the coordination isn't there. Maybe the supports on the Shanghai Dragons were too good because the healing on the Shanghai Dragons is about 1 to 2k ahead, but that's normal if your team's taking a lot of damage. But it also goes to show that because the kills and the eliminations aren't there, you're just feeding this damage into the Shanghai supports. But now that they're actually securing these kills, then you have, in my opinion, a bit of misplay, a little hubris coming from Shanghai Dragons, where they're just like, yeah, we can translate and we can rally late, and it doesn't matter because we'll out-frag them, and Flitter and Lipper here, it doesn't matter, we'll just do all of this stuff late, and we can just win 5v6 or 4v6 or whatever. And it ends up being, it doesn't work out that way. The trance gives Lip maybe enough space to win a 1v1, lead Jake on late rallies, then gets cancelled, and through all of that, they just couldn't secure enough to flip the point back in. And Valiant had the point running the entire time, so they were ticking up percentage points eventually until we hit critical mass, they get to the 99%, they have way more players than Shanghai Dragons, and Sanctum goes their way. And Shanghai Dragons started out on the double shield and they had to change their entire comp, resetting all their ultimates, so they lost a lot of early momentum there as well.
Yeah, I mean, just a wild turnaround from the side of the Valiant. I mean, it was, you know, they had those moments on the initial opening on Shrine, and then it just seems like everything kind of clicked for them. So a very well-earned round win. I mean, obviously, guys, we're in a pause, so it seems like we're just going to be dealing with that, get that taken care of. Should just be a few minutes, and then we can get back into the action and see who's going to be taking this first map. But yeah, it's a really weird look from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. I mean, at the start of Sanctum, they try to go for something a little bit different. We see, you know, the change-ups in the composition coming through, Lip starting off with the McCree, and then immediately he's like, no, actually, I need to swap back, but it wasn't good enough. You know, they missed out on some opportunities, you know, to build up a couple ultimates, sure, but there's still so much time to work with, and it just seemed like, I think you said, you used the word hubris, and I think that's basically the best way that you could put it. Hubris, complacency, you know, not respecting their opponents. And I think the Valiant
they assumed they would just win
them.
from behind. They assumed they would just win from behind no matter what. Like, it was a, you know, like, there's no way we lose this. Like, even we could play with like 4 people blind. It's like, fine, turn our monitors off, which is maybe why we're in the pause. The pause is probably there because Shanghai, like, hang on, we lost a sub-map. There's something wrong with our computers. We need to fix this problem.
Yeah, check everything. Run a virus scan. What's happening here?
Getting DDoSed by Valiant here. No, I just think legitimately Valiant have enough mechanical prowess, clearly, especially out of Crystal, who is on nearly 12k total damage done across 2 sub-maps. To give context, and then the next highest player, as much as we praise him, especially me, Lip is on 7.7. To be fair, he was on Sombra the whole time, even though, like, I can't use that as an excuse because last time I said Lip on a Sombra was out damaging everyone. The point I'm trying to say is Crystal is by far outstripping all of Shanghai Dragons and his own teammate on Milan Run in terms of damage done. And all that Valiant needed to do was convert that damage into kills, and we would start to see some Valiant success. And I think that's a lot of what happened on Sanctum.
Yeah, well, I think I just saw some confirmations here from the admins and the players. It seems like the Chengdu side, I keep saying the Chengdu. I don't know why I'm saying the Chengdu side. Maybe it's because we just watched the series.
You're
and
so
they were running
impressed by the 3-2.
No, I think it's because they were running the away colors, so they had like the white backdrops on the character portraits, and I'm looking at that, and my brain is just like associating the two for no reason. So my apologies, but I think the Valiant players are ready to get back in. We're just waiting for the confirmation from the side of Shanghai, so that we can begin. And Fate has given the go, so we should be getting a bit of a countdown and then be able to jump back into this, which, you know, we're just at the start of Village here. We haven't had any action. Nobody's attacking. We still have a 20-minute countdown before the action begins. So crucially, you know, this is a good time, as I always say, for a pause. You never want to see a pause when it's in the middle of a team fight, because then you have that what if conundrum. You know, not the Marvel show that's probably going to be mediocre, but everyone will say it's great. But, you know, like, what if the pause didn't happen in the middle of the action? So we'll find out.
Just throw Marvel on the bus real quick.
I said what if, and I was like, wait, isn't that going to be a Marvel show?
It is.
Yeah, it's
okay,
probably going to be like blah.
We don't have a Marvel sponsorship, and after that comment, we won't. Ever. No, just kidding. As we take a look at comps here, just a little bit. I think it will be the standard full Sombra Tracer kind of stuff going on here. Now, if this was maybe Shanghai versus Philadelphia, maybe. No, they probably wouldn't play the brawl, but sometimes Assembly would be the real pick coming up through. In NA, that would have been real. Silver 3 is actually going over towards the Winston now. So it's a real try match. You see it
He's going to do his damnedest. Molly dead. Crystal with a headshot has the damage boost coming in from Hybe rather. Does manage to find that opening kill. And I mean, do we just see the Valiant lock down the point basically for free yet again? Is my question. So right now it's unlocked and nobody's playing on it.
Yeah, the teams are not really focusing on the actual objective right now, and you saw Silver 3 go down low. He was hacked, but he doesn't die first. It's actually Fake, so Fake died first, just like he did on Shrine. Been caught out. Hybe's still alive for now, so that's massive. The fact that Wuya heals him up, no trades at all.
Yeah, not even a single one. Bionade going forward, doesn't clip on anybody on the side of the Dragons, but Crystal again gets this headshot kill onto Molly. Now it's going to be Fate eliminated. Yeah, I mean, it's just this duo right now on this round. Both of them getting picked off repeatedly, and it is doing wonders here for the Valiant. Crystal, that was disgusting.
Crystal nod.gif, that's what I'm looking for right there. He knew that was sick. Crystal's had a hell of a map so far. This is by far the best performance I've seen from Crystal. Oh yeah, I'm going to say it now. And versus the toughest competition, Crystal's really hitting some nutty shots today.
Good God, that was just absolutely disgusting. We have to change the rating on this stream after that. See if we can do it again. I mean, he's been nothing but consistent so far. So don't expect that to change at the moment. Playing forward now, the Dragons looking to get the flip on the point. Flood falling low as he gets zapped away. EMP comes in from Lip, does manage to find both of the tanks. Pulse Bomb goes out, hits on the Silver 3, offers up a little bit of extra damage on Bob as well. As Flood dives into the back, tries to get in on top of Wuya, taking him down to about half HP. Lip in the meantime manages to find Shochuk. There's Milanron. Looking to now start building up for yet another EMP. Start from scratch though, it's going to take him a little while. The Dragons have grabbed control of the point, but for how long is the question?
And very expensive as well. You see that Molly and Lee Jae-gon actually layered the support ultimate, so that it's going to be an overreaction to the EMP. But they get quite aggressive now to look for extra kills while they can. Crystal's still respawning, so that's the most important member of the Valiant, taken care of at least for the while. He's coming back onto McCree now, so they really want to shut down this flip duo of the Tracer Sombra, and they need the extra stunts to do it.
A little bit of a back cap there as Lip is taking a nap for the moment. Does manage to get out safely. Unfortunately, Valiant can't capitalize, but they have a slew of ultimates to throw at this point to try to get the flip back into their favor. Milanron off the bat, however, going to be hacked, but Silver 3 goes in with the Primal, manages to find Lee Jae-gon. Now he's looking for Molly just to get rid of both supports, and he has done it. Now can rejoin in with the rest of his squad. Wood going to be using the self-destruct here on the point to try to clear them out, buy some extra space. Flutta goes in, finds Hybe, who was cornered with the shield raised. As soon as that had gotten shattered, he manages to find that kill. Crystal comes in, finds Lip, who has been slept yet again. They get the finish, and the Valiant are on the point.
That play from Silver 3 is exactly why he's ranked number 39 out of 42 on IBM Watson rankings instead of number 42 out of 42. That is far better than right at the bottom. So you guys are going to cut him a break, cut him a slack. He's got some all right mechanics. You know, when he needs them, he can shut down the supports. Milanron, by the way, got hacked. He didn't go down. You saw Milanron on 1 HP. But he doesn't. And Fate stepped again. Dude, Wuya's been landing sleep after sleep after sleep.
I mean, he's making a solid argument for himself that the Valiant could actually close at the series to be the MVP. It's been a very solid look from him. Silver 3 going to be taken down, but Milanron goes in with the help of Crystal. They manage to find a kill on Flutta, alleviating a lot of backline pressure. Transcendent's been forced by Molly. Couldn't get away from that self-destruct, so now doesn't have that to try to fight onto the point. He's under pressure, he's trying to kite back desperately. A sliver of HP remaining as the shielding will start to regenerate. Seems like he'll be okay. And as he exited, got rid of Shochung's mech, but they haven't been able to finish off that Baby Diva. Speaking of mech, Void under some fire, zips his way out of there to try to stay safe.
It's a Valiant C9.
Maybe come back in again.
They just didn't contest.
Yeah, it does get taken away. EMP comes through, manages to find 3, I believe. Silver 3 receiving the Discord Orb. Doesn't take too much damage, but they pile in, they manage to find Crystal. Dragon's still going to be retaining control of the point for now at 75%, but still a ways to go before they catch up. The Pulse Bomb from Fleta does wonders, gets the stick, and Hy-Vee goes down. They jig on now with the rally. Rolling can keep everybody armored up for a little bit of extra time. And the Dragons will be able to hold on to this. They will be taking the lead. It's going to be one final fight here for the Valiant if they want to take this map.
This is critical from the Valley. The fact that they let the flip of the cap go over means Shanghai have been capping it up in percentage this entire time. Right when Shanghai won the fight is when they should have capped, but now they're about to hit 99. The Valiant are in a lot of trouble. They are going to have to come in now. Jedi so far hasn't hit anything and they lost their main tank.
Silver 3, he does crucially manage to get this ult off, but the Discord Orb and everybody just focus firing means that he just cannot last. There's a little smack there on a Milanron, and it seems like it will just be the Dragons closing this out 2-1. But even so, the manner in which this happened was not what we anticipated at all. The Valiant are putting up more of a fight realistically than we have seen this entire season long against the the current best team in the world per recent tournament stats. So this is still potentially going to be a very interesting series as things continue to unfold.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Looking at Village, that was a lot more winnable for Valiant. I think them not securing the cap and allowing that to go over to Shanghai under their nose, they had everybody alive. They just kind of straight C9 that one, or I mean, I guess Shanghai back-capped it, but they didn't contest. So what I'm basically saying is Valiant would have, at minimum, secured themselves one more opportunity to fight had they not let the cap go underway. Because Shanghai, they won the fight, but they should have only capped after they won the fight, which would have given Valiant one more opportunity. Because Shanghai just got a free cap, I mean, Shanghai just got 99 and it was over. So Valiant put up a decent fight. They ended things about 2.3k more damage done than Shanghai over 3 submaps. So you got to say Valiant are putting up some numbers, and they're only just lacking in a lot of coordination in a lot of other areas, but they're lacking in eliminations mostly, despite getting a lot of damage done.
Yeah, but I mean, still, this is not at all what we had anticipated. I teased about the speed running, the game is done quick and all that stuff, but this was far from it. So yeah, 2-1 close up for the Shanghai Dragons, but something tells me that they're not really going to be satisfied with that. Just getting the map win. They want to win in a very dominant fashion, and that certainly was not it. Everybody kind of looking off, everybody looking complacent, and not really showing the respect that they needed to be. It seems like Village, they finally said, okay, you know what, we can't really fool around as much. We can't be overconfident. Let's focus in. Let's close this out. And they got that done. But they need to keep that same mentality for the rest of the series. For the Valiant, though, for the fans out there, keep those chins raised high. That was a very close start to this series. I'm hoping that the rest of it is going to be the same. So Tezande, keep posting in that chat. I know you're out there. I haven't even been looking, but I know that you're there. You're incredible. You're dedicated.
You're the best.
And bless you. But we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have map number 2. It's Volskaya Industries coming up next.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Alrighty, welcome back, guys. We're just one map into our final series of the evening. The LA Valiant versus the Shanghai Dragons kicked off a bit differently than we had very much anticipated. Avril, a very close first map of Nepal, but Shanghai Dragons, they do get their 2-1 victory in the end, so they start things off with that map win. Now we get ready to go to Volskaya Industries to see if the Valiant can go ahead and tie up the score.
Yeah, I think Shanghai just got to keep things interesting, Just got to add a bit of drama in there for the fans. Ixiaki coming in for Molly right now, so who knows? Maybe that's. I guess the real answer is they're coming in to take this a bit more seriously. But the meme answer is it would be good for them to also have a very close map or even lose a map with Ixiaki and just to make things really wild. Just to be like, well,
yeah. Where do you go from there?
There's not even copium. You can't even say Shanghai wasn't running their best roster. Just remember, guys, if Shanghai want to dodge the 4-0 curse, I mean, they got to get a 3-1 somewhere, right? Just saying.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of, if that's gonna hold true, then I suppose that is the case. But Ixiaki is back on stage, so they've got the whole roster, and it looks like, he's just ecstatic. He's like, what's that? Oh my God, it's a cameraman. I haven't seen one of these, well, since the last homestand, but it's been a while.
That's true.
And there's been plenty of Ixiaki fans as well individually in the audience. I mean, all of these players, you would assume, very well represented with with fans who say like, this is my favorite player on this roster, because they're all just so very good. It's hard not to like everybody on the squad.
I'm gonna try and find the Vancouver fan again. I think last time we did a homestand in Hangzhou, there's the one Vancouver fan right now just speaking across the audience. Yeah, it's all Shanghai. We did see some Chengdu jerseys out in the crowd during their matchup. They were very ecstatic.
Yeah.
And I mean, who knows if Valiant can actually take a map. Remember, it's okay. I mean, Valiant lost a map, but they'll still get a 3-1 here, won't they? Valiant 3-1 still alive and kicking. That's a possibility. So I'm sure there could be a Valiant jersey somewhere out there that's going to be very happy about that.
I mean, Chengdu just reverse swept the Philly Fusion, so all bets are off realistically at the moment. So I'm all in for it. Let's see the 3-1. I mean, what a just a cataclysmic victory. I can't think of another word. It would just uproot everybody's understanding of the APAC region, of how dominant Shanghai is, of expectations for future matches. I think it would just be an absolute cataclysm of a series if Valiant took this.
What would happen is, just to really rub salt in the wound, they'll lose to Valiant and then come and demolish whoever they play in the knockouts, which is probably going to be Philly after they lost to Chengdu, because that's how the results have been shaken up right now. So that will really get the blood boiling.
Just lose here and then go back to Hawaii and then just like 3 and 4-0 everybody over there. Don't drop a single match. Right. People have said to me like, okay, well if you're saying Shanghai could lose to Valiant and that would like destroy their reputation, I'm like, my response is always, well, no, because then they can just go to Hawaii, win the entire Summer Showdown. It's fine. Like at that point, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. Very true. We're in the right. But you see right now, starting off on defense, Shanghai Dragons.
That's right. They drew this last time. They drew this last time.
That's true. I mean, hey, maybe we can get a 5-map series, not necessarily in scoreline, but in maps played. If we just have 2 draws.
4, 3.
I'm down for it. I don't know about you. But off the bat, nothing too shocking here. We're just going to be seeing the standard setup for the start of the Dragons on this defense. Crystal's back over onto this Ashe, however, and I haven't forgotten the flicks. Molly, he's not here anymore, but Ixiaki, I'm sure, was watching. Was like, oh yeah, I need to watch out for this guy because he's going to take my head off.
By the way, and this is something I've been kind of thinking of as well, is Crystal dropped down a Chengdu Hunters spray, and I want to talk about Chengdu ever so slightly, and only because of the comps that are being run. Right now, Shanghai to me are basically running what Chengdu have been most well known for, which is full dive comps, except they're running it way better. So I kind of refer to Chengdu as Shanghai White at this stage. So Shanghai have really mastered this kind of ball play. We'll see if they can continue that.
Yeah. For when you don't want that many calories, you get the Shanghai White.
Still good enough for Philly.
Watch that waste. Diving into the back right now is Flood. Wuya going to be taken out. Flip manages to get in on top of him. Double stun comes through from the flashbang, but unfortunately, they're unable to follow up. Finds Lee J gone, which will give him a little bit of a slow run back, but the rest of the squad can't really exit. Shochang, yeah, I think I was going to say, he just goes off the side of the map from there. I've never seen a D.Va get defect on that roof.
Lee J Gon is the only person, he's gone from the only person that didn't die in the start of the ball to now being the only person that has died in Shanghai Full Sky, so a bit unfortunate for Lee J Gon, so I forgive you. As we'll see how the rest of these ultimates develop. Already have a trance, but look at that. Izayaki, you have a Zen that has a trance after one fight. That's insane.
Yeah, and they almost have, you know, a Sombra with an EMP after one fight. He's about to get it right now because he's just farming it off of Silver 3, but Flutter goes in, gets the Pulse Bomb stick, and that's going to be Milanon and Silver 3, both eliminated off the back of the singular ult. We got Will manage to get rid of him, but Fate is quick on the revenge for his teammate there. So Flutter obviously can rejoin very quickly. We got doesn't have very far to float back in. So there's a little bit of a window to try to move up through the choke potentially before Flutter starts wailing on them yet again.
It's progress, because now Valiant have doubled the amount of kills they've gotten at the start of the map, so that's 2 now. They've got 1 on Lee J Gon and 1 recently on Flutter, so it's an increase of 100%. That's a big number.
That's a huge increase. Damn. That's what you like to see. Playing the penny stock game, but there you go. EMP out. We are not going to be ready to respond. Let's get caught. It's going to be supports and Crystal both eliminated. Shocheng saying, yeah, I know how this ends. Let me just go ahead. Retreat straight back over into the spawn room. Let's play this out a little bit safer with Milanron of all people. He also cannot escape.
He was, I think he could have just gone back to spawn, but he was kind of chilling. You know, Trags, he had enough blinks to try and duel Void, but apparently not to get to spawn.
I think he was feasting. I think he was trying to get this pulse bomb up so they would have 6 ultimates ready at the start of the next fight, but it doesn't make it happen.
Actually, if he did manage to get some pressure there, maybe they could have broke out a spawn. This will be a big slam for sure with Fate, I can imagine.
Drops it down, still holds onto the minefield. Now the stun is going to be gone. Comes crashing through. Now the minefield will come in. And it's just a meat grinder right now. Flooding gets another double pulse. The baby D.Va and Crystal going to be gone. Milanron, he will get 1. But then he is dead as he tries to retreat back over to the spawn yet again. And the Shanghai Dragons just continue to hold the choke. 35%, or 35 seconds on the board now.
We have another kill.
Onto this point.
Kill update here. Izayaki has now also died. So that's 3 kills the Valiant have had so far, 3 final blows. Fun fact as well, Flutter has 6 final blows. 4 of them came from 2
pulse bombs.
Yeah. So he only gets 2 other final blows outside the pulse bombs.
I mean, that's fine. He's widely been dueling, you know, outside of that initial kickoff that we saw. EMP now out. We got, again, caught, melted, Shocheng no hope to try and survive. Void self-destruct will find 2. He wants to get into the explosive action. So comes up with a 2K of his own. They get onto the point for just a little bit of time, but after that, it will in fact be the full hold here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons. They're looking much like, you know, the team, the dominant force that we have come to know over the last season here. And they just need a single tick to go ahead and take this and move up 2-0.
I think this is a bit cowardly that they just didn't put Molly in the whole time. Like, come on, win the whole series with Molly. You can't. Why would you go Super Saiyan 5 for this? Like, you could have just. Yeah, it was close, but it was fun. It was engaging. I'm sure your fans having heart attack. Oh, would they? I don't know that it even matters. Let's be honest. Like, even losing here, it's not going to change the standings. No, you have Silver 3 walking a bomb to Milan run. That's whatever. It's fine.
Are you telling me that the Shanghai Dragons should be BM Avril?
I don't know that it is BM though. It's just if they're.
What they're. Never mind. I'm not even going to go into that.
I know what you're getting into. I'm just saying, like, you know, what is. So to answer your question, yeah, I think they should. And you know what the difference is? No one would complain if they punched down a Valiant. Because Valiant wouldn't have enough people to stand up for them. I will. Tay and I will stand up for Valiant. That's the difference. And you know what? No one would get mad about it either. If Shanghai Dragons punched down to Valiant, no one on Reddit would have an outcry. That's the double standard of the league, of the fans league.
Oh, here we go on the attack.
Translocator out. I do fully agree with you, by the way. But we like to poke and prod fun, guys.
See you later.
Don't take it too seriously, because we're not. Wrapping around the backside is Lip. He's just going to go set up the translocator. Oh, Lanron spots him, so he'll exit. Doesn't take any damage. Holds onto his stealth.
Always
Gets reset now in a new position. And who is going to be the hunting target? Right now it seems like Silver 3.
Gotcha.
Yep. There's the hack as Silver 3 comes crashing down. Doesn't manage to get the pile driver off.
Farming mode engaged.
Yeah, he falls. Shochin comes up with 2 kills. Milanron gets into the action, finds Lip, and this is going to be basically a team wipe. Fleta can't be
Valiant
found
win
at the
the fight.
moment, but a huge I mean, I can see it. Telescope us out.
Well, this is a...
The Fuller hold.
I think this is a draw. Yeah, I think this is a draw. I think we draw again on Volskaya. This is how it happens. We win that first fight, we start snowballing. Flitter stops getting double pulses because, you know, Valiant aren't just grouped up in small rooms anymore. And then there it is, this is the draw.
A little bit more. You can see 2 people being committed to Fleta duty in the back. They finally do stave him off. The rest of the squad is inched their way through the garage now over onto the left side. Start pressing forward. Big ticking time bomb, though, is going to be this EMP that's just 20% away. Just trying to get this one online, set up for the point take. Void stun, Discord orb out. Falls low, is steadily getting ticked back up. Izayaki is profiting so much of the moment off of Void, but he will get desuited. Fate falling low, pops the shield and tries to stay alive, but Fleta does manage to find Silver 3 moments before that happens. Transcends now for the rest of the squad. The pulse bomb comes out, it might not find 2, but it still manages to get 1. But Milanron responds in kind. Both brigades now going to be out of the fight. Now it's Izayaki gone, and Lip still commits in with the EMP. That is a big overstretch. Huya is out. You know, he's got rally armor on him. You can't just assassinate him. They don't get the kill, and now they lose out on their ults.
So yeah, there's like 2 minutes left now. And by the way, Flitter got a pulse bomb stick, but so did Milana, and things are actually pretty even, a lot more than you'd imagine at this stage, and it's actually a lot more possible than you think, because Ultimate's slightly in the favor of Valiant at this stage, and look at Shanghai Dragons, they are lacking somewhat. This could actually come down to the overtime fight, no joke.
Time to raise my ATM. I'm securing the
On the point at the moment, just inching forward is Lip. Trying to get another EMP up, almost gets stunned. A jump scare there, jumps away with the translocator. Fleta's looking for his next target. Silver 3 does get farmed out. They take him down. The minefield now not going to be there on the point. He can rejoin in. The Shanghai Dragons haven't yet fully committed to this. Pack onto the Mega Pack. Lip just looking to take that away as they're bunkered into the moment. Milanron dead. Looks like he just dashed straight into the whip shot from Lee Jae Gon, who manages to find the kill. Now we got eliminated. The supports are gone. The point is open. The Shanghai Dragons, again, you know, it's taken them way longer than you would have anticipated. Some big mistakes in there. Some overcommitments on several ultimates, but the result remains the same. They're now 2-0 up, and it's match point for them.
Full hold into a, not a 1 attempt, but a 1 tick required. It'd take a while to get there, but I think it's just indicative of the fact that Valiant can absolutely put up a fight. They're stats-wise as well, putting up decent numbers in terms of damage done. Usually when a team is getting absolutely stomped, they're not even close. They got a reasonable amount of kills here, not at the start. I mean, again, reminder, Shanghai Dragons only had 3 deaths total on their entire defense, but we end this. And, you know, it's what, 6, 9, 12, so they've like quadrupled the amount of deaths they've had since the defense. I mean, maybe it is harder to attack, and you did see Valiant win a decent amount more fights than catch up. It seems like that does take until like a second half for Valiant to get in there. And once again, it's Crystal right at the top. He's the one pulling most of the weight here. He's the one dropping most of the damage. But, you know, when push comes to shove, this is meant to be a Shanghai 3-0. We're getting there with a bit of a scenic route, but we'll probably get there at the end of the day.
Yeah, you kind of think like the off-road, the dirt road. There's a lot of gravel, so it's a little bit bumpier than you're kind of used to. It's not the nicely paved one, but you know they're currently sitting now at match point. One more map for them to net this win in front of their home crowd, and it seems like it's going to happen. I mean, Shanghai Dragons, they are just playing above the Valiant, but the Valiant are putting up one hell of a fight, I will say. So this is way less of a stomp than we had anticipated, that a lot of, I'm sure just about everybody was anticipating, other than Tay. But Kings Row is now going to be the difference maker. Potentially final map in this series as we get ready to move into hybrid. We'll see if the Valiant can stabilize there. And, you know, yeah, we already had one reverse sweep. Let's go for another one. I'm all for it. Let's go ahead and burn that midnight oil. But, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles. Stay in the game. And by NetApp, the official data management partner of the Overwatch League.
Alrighty, and we are back and potentially at the end of this series. 2-0 lead right now for the Shanghai Dragons, so match point in their hands. Avril, it's been closer than we had anticipated. I feel like I'm going to be a broken record every time we come back from a break saying that. But the Valiant genuinely have been putting up a decent fight. They have some good moments. Milanron's coming up with some great picks with his pulse bombs. Getting outdone, however, by Fleta, who manages to just kind of continue finding these 2-for-1 specials with his own ultimates. But Shanghai Dragons, the clock went a lot lower there than I was anticipating for just a single tick pickup.
I think this is where Shanghai Dragons could potentially just off-roll their entire team, really spread out the match for the sake of tokens. I think that is like a Valiant way to extend the broadcast. Yeah, it's for the fans, really. And then eventually allow Valiant to get the reverse sweep. So, reverse sweep is out there. It's real. I predicted the Chengdu reverse sweep. I actually did. That's not a joke, by the way. I'm not memeing. I saw. Did. So I'm just going to, as a meme that I am declaring that this is a meme, I will also declare now that Valiant are going to get the reverse sweep. So there it is. Put the 1 into the chat for the Valiant reverse sweep, because I think we all know it's happening, because Valiant activated, you know what I'm saying?
And another finger curls on the monkey's paw as this reverse sweep gets ready to come through. But, I mean, it seems like still, you know, obviously high spirits for the Shanghai players here. Feeling good. They're up 2-0. It's probably not, you know, as clean as they want.
They have no reason to have low spirits. I'll say that.
I know that Coach Moon's probably not going to be, you know, coming off the back of this series and being like, oh, amazing job, guys. Like he's going to be like, hey, good job, we won the series, but we need to get ready for tomorrow. Honest? So like, here's what you don't do.
I don't think anyone from Shanghai walks out of this with much to talk about. I
think this is a decent amount, actually.
Well,
I think there's been some clear gaps in the armor.
I would agree. I would only agree if it was my belief that Shanghai playing 100%, and I think they're not trying as hard as they could be. I'll put it that way. So
I mean, hey, that's possible. I go in here with the understanding that everybody's giving it their all, and if this is
at all times,
by God, Shanghai, you have to work on some stuff before tomorrow. But overall, still looking good. I mean, you can tell that, you know, they got the win with Molly. Things were definitely a little bit rougher. Izuyaki comes in. They get a little bit back into that hive mind groove that we've talked about with the squad. And it just seems like suddenly everybody is kind of on a similar page. Just hasn't been you know, as clean as we've seen from them in their last few series thus far. We'll see how King's Row goes and if that is going to be a little bit different. Lip playing around with a couple different options at the very beginning that we saw, but lands on the Sombra all the same. Ooh, this is Shanghai's worst hybrid map type, and Valiant are undefeated.
is that because did they beat Chengdu on this map? Because they beat Philly on Numbani, so they must have beaten Chengdu on this map. And they probably haven't played this map since that Chengdu game as well. So there it is, 100% win rate for Valiant. There you go, checkmate APS.
We figured it out. Pile driver coming in from Silver 3, but it doesn't manage to find too much. Crystal going to be the first one to fall. Fate will also get dropped. Gotta really be wary when it comes down to that symmetric damage. Crystal's immediately going to be swapping off, goes over to the McCree. We are, however, going to be taken out, so we'll just have to be an extended reset here for the side of the LA Valiant. As I thought Silver 3 was going to fall, but he does manage to stay alive.
So, it's only one death so far. That's really, I'm just going to keep the death counters going, because that was a good thread I had going on Volskaya. And so far it belongs to Fate. Actually, Shanghai died a lot in the fall, and they died a lot in the attack. They are defending there. Here we go, slam from Silver 3. He's taking a lot, but he's still alive for now. No, I lie, he's just going to get farmed, isn't he?
Yeah, the Discord orbs come through, and there's just, I mean, no one's in a position to try to protect him. You know, they have Shochung. They don't have a D.Va that can go in with a dive and offer up that D-Matrix, so he just gets hopped on and does end up getting picked off. Fate's still playing up top here. See if he wants to try crashing through that staircase again. Trying to get that minefield online. Pulse bomb goes out from Flooded. This is managed to find a
he is human.
Crystal will still fall. Yeah, he can't always get him.
He doesn't have a 100% stick rate. Okay. Guess he's not going to be MVP this year.
Yeah, that one pulse bomb stick miss,
taking it away.
That cost you. No more MVP for you. Silver 3 flying forward. Both tanks, however, falling so very low, and the Discord Orb focus is going to be good. Shochung now going to be out of the fight. Silver 3 trying to exit, but Lip, he just holds it down. Just biding his time before he can pop that translocator. He manages to get out with his life intact. Gets the kill, has the EMP now ready to roll, and it's just, again, right up in front of the spawn and playing next to the bus.
I think he got his, based on stats, he got his EMP in 45 seconds, by the way, so that's one of the fastest we've seen. He hasn't even had to use it yet. Wuyo's already popped the Transcendence. He popped that in a tempo fashion because his team was losing. Izuyaki responded, and Lip's just biding his time like, I'm going to have a freebie in a hot second here. There's a minute and 30-ish kind of seconds left. Maybe about 2 fights left for the Valiant. One of them will be concluded by Lip just popping the EMP, and the rest will be when Shanghai build the rest of their ultimates.
I mean, the guys, we had it up at the beginning of the stream. What was it, like a minute and 7 seconds or a minute and 17 seconds average time to build the EMP
over all his games, which is still really good.
So, you know, sometimes you're going to get those ones that are like 45 seconds. It's still damn impressive. EMP does come through. We have the first one to fall. Managed to EMP the back half of the squad here.
3 members hacked. Flux going to be committed to the fight here from Shunchuk, but he's just going to die in midair. Fate finishes him off. Transcendence does get used by Izayaki, so that's like the one little silver lining. But there's still a rally available. There's still a self-destruct to clear this point.
Possibly an overspin from Shanghai, if I'm going to be nitpicky and really when you have this kind of game going on.
I agree.
Oh, by the way, Lee Jae-gon also died at some point. I didn't even see it, but now that's got to be 2 deaths total for Shanghai. It's not good enough.
Not good enough at all. Rallies out for both sides, but Lee Jae-gon will
3 now.
fall, so the rally gets interrupted. Void's going to be demech'd. He pops this up the truck from Milanron, finishes off the BB defense. He tries to hide inside of the statue base. But getting chased now as Milanron pursues forward, forces out the recall, still holds on to one of his own. Gets back in on top of Fleta, now will pop it. They continue to duke it out, but it seems like Milanron, yeah, he's got the advantage. He grabs the health pack.
Oh.
And then Crystal comes in for the backup. That's dirty.
cheating.
That should have been a 1v1. They end up making it a 2v1. They get the kill and they get the cap. It's now 2.5 minutes in the time bank for the side of the Valiant. So not going to be looking at a full hold this time. We have to see how far they can take this card.
It's dishonorable, really. But the good news is Shanghai and Valiant have agreed to continue this series for the sake of tokens. And you're going to want them because that Anna skin do be looking pretty fire. I got mine already. I got enough tokens to get all the skins I think this year, which I'm pretty happy about.
I have 13 shy at the moment, but I should have it.
This guy doesn't watch enough Overwatch League.
I didn't check this morning. Ooh, okay, just lobs in the stick on the Lee Jae-gon. Really nice stuff from Milan.
That's a 2-piece?
Izayaki as well. Yeah. 2-piece doesn't need the pulse bomb to find 2. Just follows up off the back of the primary fire to get that other kill. Flooded does come in, however, manages to find Crystal. Now the DPS are going to be gone for the side of the Valiant, but is that enough for them to stop this cart? Because it's continuing to inch forward at the moment. They need these tanks to be able to play up and keep this thing halted. EMP comes through, manages to find 3, but Ouya's not going to get caught. Manages to pop the Transcendence, keeps the team up. And there you go. It's just going to be a 1-for-1 exchange with the Shanghai Dragons having to pull back. Void stuck inside this orb onto him. Almost loses the mech. Just barely managed to escape.
Okay, I mean, this is good distance. Look at the payload. It's in a reasonable position right now. They got to win this next fight, and they got to get past Izayaki, which there's not a lot to work with here. Shocheng needs a big bomb. Not going to quite land. Oh, that's a good kill.
Yeah, a fantastic one. I mean, everybody was just kind of corralled off on this little side angle near, the second attacker's spawn. They're all grouped up. The remech finds the kill, and this is the Valiant punching through. They're going to be able to get this cap on a big...
Dude, I think it's coming home. I think Valiant got a reverse sweep from this position now because they're clearly on the route home. Whichever position, whichever path they're taking, it leads home.
Oh.
See, they capped.
Yep, they spotted Lip as well, and they follow up for the kill. I believe they got rid of the translocator, so he couldn't exit safely. Now, will further delay and allow for this card to start advancing forward around this first corner. 2 minutes left on the clock. I mean, finishing the map at all for the Valiant is still going to be a really good boon for them and gives them a win condition.
Ironically, I say it's coming home, but I think the fans would have just preferred if they stayed home. Milanron dies to Izayaki as the EMP is going to come up.
And that's... The Valiant, they just have to reset. Even though it's just the Tracer, they can't really afford to play without him, at least in my opinion. That being said, Crystal will just find Fate, pops the Deadeye instantly. He's looking for a target. Won't manage to find one, gets his position forced, and he will just get picked off by the self-destruct. So, despite losing out on their main tank, seems like the Shanghai Dragons have managed to stabilize.
Yeah.
To continue to drain this clock down.
I think Shanghai have too many ults now. Yeah, this is the biggest problem for Valiant. They are going to have to get past way too much. Unless Milanron can get another 2-piece where Izayaki and Lee Jae-gon unbind their Q ultimate buttons and just fail to press them. We see Milanron's really getting frisky here. Lip could have revealed himself for the manual hack, but he wants to stay in invis for the EMP. So Shanghai want to make an aggressive play, possibly.
Yep, there you go. EMP does come through. Finds Ouya. Gets the elimination. 60 seconds remaining. I mean, honestly, good on Ouya to just, accept the death, hold on to the Transcendence would have been very disadvantageous had he popped it there to try to survive so far away from the card. So it's just nothing else realistically that he could do in that moment.
That's what they can do here. I mean, it's about 30 seconds. They're not even really getting on C anymore. They're struggling to get past the Shanghai forward hold. They rallied quite early, which is actually, that's not bad. So with 3 surviving is important. No, I lie, he's dead. Every time I do that, he's just died straight away.
You just have the Cassicers for him. Fleta taken out. Milanron finds him with the pulse bomb, just naturally just chucking that one onto the ground. Didn't even have the stick. Crystal popping the Deadeye, doesn't find too much. Comes out, helps take out Lee Jae-gon. IB going to be traded, however, the minefield from Fate finds Wuyuk. Crystal eliminated. 8 seconds left. It seems this might just be the end of the line for the Valiant. Pile Driver gets a small little knock up there as Fate tries to stay alive, comes crashing back through. Remech is there from Shocheng now. EMP just for good measure. We'll try to finish it off, and that will be good enough. They stop the cart. You know, obviously there's a little bit of rollback. It made it slightly beyond this corner. The Shanghai Dragons do have a win condition. The Valiant, they need to defend well.
This was probably meant to be some sort of a full hold, but you know, eventually there was that one really nice fight from the Valiant. And funny enough, there was, I think, only 2 deaths prior to that lost fight. It started with Lee Jae-gon getting picked off, and I was like, oh, there's that 3rd death, and that ended up spiraling into an entire team fight win from the Valiant. They ended up getting all the way to 3rd point on C. It's not bad for how much time was remaining. Now, I guess Shanghai just went, I guess. No, I said it's reverse sweep, didn't I? Who knows? We'll see. Shanghai, credit to them, have played like real comps the entire time. You know, they haven't role swapped, even though I think it would have been funny if they did. You know what? Fleta should just play again. Just do some interesting stuff. You got time to burn.
I mean, I'm all about it. Why not?
We've seen plenty of other players in the region. You know, I'm looking at you, Charge, that love to run the Genji. So why not Fleta?
Sigma Ball on the side of Valiant. To be fair, I think with their lineup, and this is the only lineup they can run in terms of the players, their best shot at any sort of comp is to put Crystal on either McCree or Ash, Milanron on a Tracer, and just go from there. Silver 3 on a Ball, I think, is also good because ideally Ball is hard to punish. That being said, Fleta is playing a Tracer, and Lip's actually going to bring out the Ash now. That's a different look for Lip, where in this current meta he's been only playing Sombra almost exclusively. But I think he wants to take the challenge to Crystal, and in previous metas, especially in Melee, this was like the pick for him.
Oh yeah, I mean this is his OG look basically. Back when everybody realized just how damn good it was, he is at this game, it was on the Ash. So, see how he fares, because Crystal looks very good on our first map of Nepal with this pick, but right now it's Ouya, the one who's kind of fragging out. Manages to find 2, now 4 are going to be gone. Silver 3 gets on top of Lip, and outside of Fleta, it's going to be a team kill.
Okay, so I mean, a minute gone, it's slow start for Shanghai, but a decent amount of ults being charged on the side of Valiant here. Crystal is outpacing Lip by quite a decent amount. I mean, this is probably Crystal's best hero, and you would expect him to hit some shots. Even when they were losing, he's been hitting shots. So, early Bob as the first ultimate here, unless Milanron can really get this pulse and Fleta can get a pulse. Be pretty important.
Fleta's about to have it online, now has it ready. Hui opts in for to try to get the sticks over there. He's kind of coming up towards him. He could just go ahead. Everything's onto the Wrecking Ball. It's not going to be good enough to kill him yet, but as I say that, Silver 3 falls low. Still just hanging out for now. Maybe wait for a juicier opportunity. Pulse bomb from Milanron, not going to manage to find anything. Jumps up over the top. Fleta, he gets his pulse. Even Shocheng noms that one up with the kinetic grasp. Milanron finds Lee Jae-gon, gets the elimination. Follows up for 2 more. And Milanron, I mean, you know, when the Valiant when they made their debut, the original reaction was like, oh, maybe this team isn't going to be, have as poor standings as we had anticipated. They seem like,
especially because they beat Chengdu
one series. Yeah, and a lot of it was Milanron, who looked very good on Tracer.
Absolutely.
He's had a lot of inconsistency, but right now, he's popping off.
And then you had Crystal kind of showing up as the Philly game as well, and Milanron still playing a reasonable good game. Crystal's got that kid trying now, so this is going to be potentially a 1-5. There's a lot of ultimates on the side of Valiant as well.
Flux is going to be used as Yaki will find Crystal, but Lee Jae-gon dead to the Flux. Bob comes out from Lip. Create a little bit of extra space here, offer up some extra damage. Silver 3 taken out by the Accretion. Rally rolling, Ivy getting way too close though. They're way far up, and Ouya dead. Means that they just do not have that transcendence to try to survive. So now the Shanghai Dragons have gotten onto the point. But that being said, it's with very little time. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. They have to go through the whole streets phase. So this is still very winnable for the Valiant.
Speaking of winnable, I mean, I think that fight was winnable right there for the Valiant. The difference was, Lip got that headshot onto Wuya, and if that didn't happen, Wuya pops the trance, and all those players you said were too far forward, they would have been saved, the fight would have continued, the Valiant would have had a good shot there. Milan Run's been doing quite a lot, Crystal got the opening kill for Flitter as well, so Valiant were on track to win and get another fight. And just one good headshot from Lip completely shut it down, so see what kind of momentum Shanghai can get off the back of that, because Valiant really want to get up close and personal. They have full high ground control, they drop.
Playing around the back lines here. Gets a recall off, is straight in on top of Izayaki, and the rally is just not there, so they cannot try to offer up any armor onto him. He just goes down. Void receives the pulse bomb, falls at a half HP, but he manages to find Milanron on the back end as he was trying to exit. Shanghai Dragons breaking through the initial choke. That's where it's at right now. This is just the initial choke. There's still plenty of fighting opportunities here for the Valiant to try to stop this card. Buying as much time as they possibly can in the streets phase is going to be crucial.
2:30. Good news for Valiant is there's not a lot of ults coming online for Shanghai, except for, well, there's actually a couple of ults coming online for Shanghai, so they'll get that in pretty due process now as Valiant really just have the minds to play. They've got to get a fight started pretty quickly. You want to be forcing Lip to drop everything. You want to be forcing Void and Fake to ult as well. Ideally, Valiant would have already looked for an engage by now, but this is going to look like a fight that will take place on the final moment to be, which is if Shanghai win, it'll be a lot of momentum for them to finish that.
Just changing position. Cart finally being contested 3.5 meters away. Dynamite over the top gets a little bit of damage in. Bob is online, and Silver 3 just gets annihilated. Fate has that minefield waiting for him. Silver 3 as he tries to go in for his own. And now Mulanra dashing into a mine. The cart, yeah, it's going to be opened up. They managed to push this through. 3 minutes now added, or total here in the clock as these wipes are coming in, and that's pretty costly because the card is going to start moving forward. It doesn't have very far to go.
Yeah, this will be the one. This will be the final fight for sure. I mean, Valiant spent everything there. They tried to force ultimates. They forced a reasonable amount. Couldn't get the Flux from Void. Void's already pushed up really high. Flux will happen over towards his left if anyone tries to check him. And at this point, High B needs to rally in the next 2 seconds, and that'll be Valiant's last chance.
I mean, this is the first in the string of several final fights for the Valiant to try to take this map. We are playing back. Pulse bomb out. Fleta manages to find Silver 3. Now Crystal's going to be gone. Shochang is dead. Lip picks up 3 on the back and make it a 4th as Milanron will fall. And then we'll just have a celebratory transcendence as the cart glides into the box of victory. The Shanghai Dragons, they take Kings Row. They take this series 3-0 in front of the crowd.
Shanghai fans should be, I don't even know what to say about that. I guess relieved in a way where it's like, all right, well, we lost a few fights. Didn't drop a map, didn't draw a map, so that's an improvement from the last time they faced the Valiant. I think everyone walked into this pretty much understanding that Shanghai were going to clap the Valiant any which way. They'll collect their free handshakes right now as Lip will tower over all of his opponents. I mean, the physical stature of the guy will just completely... How could you not be scared playing this man?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be absolutely terrified. You know, he's taller than you, he's bigger than you, and oftentimes
he's a better Overwatch player.
Yeah. Well, for the very first time, the players will take their bow and corral them all together in front of the home crowd. I'm sure much to their elation, but I mean, this is, we talked about it before. This is just the start, Avril. This is just one day and a very lovely long weekend.
Especially for Shanghai, where, okay, we'll get the entree out of the way, and that's going to be the pretty much freebie versus Valiant. I'll be honest, that's what it is. Then they're going to get into the real meat and potatoes, which is what we're looking for the Shanghai versus Hangzhou game, and the dessert will be when they probably eventually beat the Philadelphia Fusion in the knockout game to get into the Hawaii stage, the tournament stage for the Summer Showdown again. So that's your 3-course meal for the Shanghai Dragons, all laid out in front of you, all presented, all finally cooked in. Shanghai at their homestand. This is just the start, as it was for Hangzhou Spark. Although that being said, Hangzhou Spark did eventually lose their 3rd matchup, so Shanghai, their real matchup, I think, will be that knockout match versus probably, again, based on my preds, probably Philly, as right now Chengdu look like they'll be playing up against Seoul in that knockout as well, assuming Chengdu get a clean game versus Valiant as well.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I should explain, though, to the Americans watching, in other parts of the world, an entree is not the main dish. I know that we often like to think that that's what it means, but that's not actually how it's used. So just so you're not confused. In America, if you say like the entree,
appetizer, right?
Yeah, exactly. You say like your
What's an entree
your appetizer, the main course.
Okay.
I don't know why they think that.
What's the main course then? Do you have to?
I mean, they're like synonyms for each other. Okay. But guys, our player of the match is none other than Fleta. Things, rocky at the start, but then Fleta really started coming online as he often does. He's PC and his internal PC, and then he starts popping off. Plays the Tracer for the majority of the way through, and starts coming up with some really crazy double pulse bomb.
Yeah, I think when you look across this, we were talking about it privately, where it's just like, who gets MVP here? You got to pick one of the Shanghai players, and honestly, just based on who is popping off and who is landing shots and doing the most, Fleta got just a ton of pulse bomb sticks, did a lot of damage, did a lot of things correctly, didn't really feed. It is a nice headshot that Christian did get off Fleta one time. One is duels, one is 1v1s, everything he expected to do. So, yeah, I mean, Fleta just collected the frags, so they padded his stats a little bit, which I'm sure IBM's going to love, and which I'm sure just general statistics overall, when we look at, like player statistics, this is an opportunity just to pad them a little bit further.
Yeah, I mean that, and there was still some boneheaded moves here, of course, from Shanghai Dragons. Like I said, there's always something that you can learn when you walk away from a series. No team is ever going to play so perfectly that they can't learn anything from it. And I think that for Fleta and for Lib in particular, certain engagements, when it's time to go in, when they can get away with it, they could kind of take a step back and be like, okay, you know what, I was a little overzealous in this moment. I think of Lip's EMP, especially on Volskaya, when the fight was very much over. Just kind of tighten up those screws from time to time, because we do see them make those same mistakes every now and again. But for the most part, extremely consistent. I mean, an incredible amount of damage dealt here by Fleta with this Tracer. 12 pulse bomb kills. So many of those were doubles. And I mean, 69 eliminations. The guy was just nuts. That was also the percentage of elimination of kill participation, I believe, that Void had throughout the final map of King's Row. So, nice numbers being put up by the guys. But what else can you really say? Shanghai Dragons, they're just they're an incredible team. They are the team to beat right now across the entire league.
They're built diff. They are an exceptional squad. And now it's time for Game Break, presented by Cheese It Grooves. And really, to me, a couple things here for me is, number one, I'm not at all concerned about Shanghai in this game. And the reason for that is because it is my personal take that I just don't think they would try that hard in this game. I think if this is how they play versus Hangzhou, you got questions. Now, it's a very different kind of matchup to me. So tomorrow versus Hangzhou, that's where I'm expecting a really clean game. Pretty much what they did versus Seoul and Philadelphia, they need to repeat versus Hangzhou Spark. Otherwise, then you're starting to have some doubts over what's going to happen in that knockout game, because I still think Philly are the better team overall, and despite Philly losing to Chengdu, which is in and of itself maybe a bit of a concern, you can't sleep on that matchup, and that's the one you don't want to fall prey to, because again, Hangzhou, their own homestand, had the 4-0 stage. They completely dominated every single game they played, and then they had that match versus New York, which was the knockout match that was supposed to get them to Hawaii, and that ended up being the one they lose. So Shanghai have to kind of learn from the mistakes of Hangzhou, also by going through Hangzhou tomorrow, to make sure they can have a flawless performance, because right now they are flawless. They had a 9-0 record. They could be at a 12-0 record tomorrow if they get a 3-0 versus Hangzhou, although Hangzhou can maybe prevent that. And then beyond that, we're looking towards how much further they can go. Can we call this a golden stage? At what point can we call this a golden stage? Is it the 12-0? Do they need to collect a 15-0 from their knockout as well? What counts at this stage? But whatever it is, they're on the way. They're on the path.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly are. But Hangzhou are going to be hungry to try to stop them, from that tomorrow. I mean, you think back to the last homestand that we did have. Hangzhou was the host of that. Unfortunately, they ended up dropping a series in front of the home crowd, and they're going to be saying, you know what, we can't be the only ones that has this happen to us. We have to beat you, Shanghai, in front of your home crowd, so you know what our pain is like, so you can experience it for yourselves. But we'll see if they're going to be able to get it done. I mean, either way, that should be an incredible series. You think of Shy going up against Lip in a hit scan duel, both of them on Ash. That sounds absolutely nutty. So I'm really looking forward to that series.
Lip's gonna play Sombra. I don't think he's gonna match Shy. I think that'll be a Sombra matchup.
happen.
I think if they do that, that'll play into Hangzhou's strength. So I think if Shanghai really want to diff them, they'll stay on Sombra. But that'll just be my prayer for what I think's gonna happen tomorrow. And we will be taking you guys through that game as well. So I hope that will be a good one.
Indeed, yeah, we will. We will be back tomorrow, as will ZP and Doa, to open up the show, and the Shanghai homestand weekend will continue. But that does it for us here tonight. It's been a bit of a long evening, longer than we're used to. But thank you guys for tuning in the whole way through. We hope you had fun. We hope you have a good night. Watch NA, and then come back and watch us later, because APAC is better. That's why we won the tournament. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. So much flavor, it's a mind crunch.